Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the show at Rise Up Show with me, your host, the Queen Bee, Dani. How are you feeling? As we chat this morning to the devilishly handsome, the fabulously wonderful, the incredibly knowledgeable Mr. Fidel Hill, the modern man. Good morning. Jodie Salt, good morning. Babna Reddy, good morning. Elise Woodbine, good morning. The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon, good morning, sir.
Shut up, for f***'s sake. Jesus.
The fantastic Lizi Jackson-Barrett, good morning. Josephine, Sandra, everybody, good morning. Good morning, mon petit chou-fleur. So that's my little cauliflower in French. You'll be pleased to know it's like not only do you get inspiration and motivation, you get a little bit of education as well. I'm bringing you language this morning. Language aside from the fucks and buggers that you normally get from me. So mon petit chou-fleur is a term of endearment. It's mon petit chou is a term of endearment in France. My little cabbage. But I quite like that they call cauliflowers, cabbage flowers, and a chou-fleur is a cauliflower. So yes, you will sleep tonight, and I know that you lot. Hello, good morning. Welcome to a kind of official Monday. It was Bank Holiday Monday, which was fake Monday yesterday, but it's real Monday today. It's actually Tuesday, which is one of my favourite productive days of the week. It is also Be Heard So You Want to Be a Speaker Challenge week in the Hive this morning, starting at 10:30. Oh, my balls. I'm very excited. I'm also a little want for lip colour. I just realised I put all my face on. I was like, I'm bringing the eyeshadow this morning. I'm on just some eyeliner this morning, and I've got no lips on. So wait there. Talk amongst yourselves whilst I find some tinted lip balm. I actually love this one. Burt's Bees tinted lip balm. Oh, I've just got it on my nose. Apparently it's hibiscus flavored. I don't know what a hibiscus tastes like, but it's nice. Better, isn't it? Like a bit of colour in my cheeks and my lips. How are you lot this morning? Did you have a nice bank holiday? Tell me in the comments. Let me know how you're getting on. Are you feeling good? Are you not? It's a bit blowy where we are this morning. I did not sleep so well last night. Because the house is new, we've got little vents on the windows, and we've got to leave those vents open. And it means that actually when it's really blowy like it has been, it's just bloody noisy. And my husband's a snorer. So not only did we get all the blowiness of the outside world, I got all the blowiness of my husband next to me as well. So it was a cacophony of sound last night here in the in Hive Central in HQ. How are you guys? Oh, this is exciting. Leslie Walter, my first full day fully self-employed, which means I can now listen to you every day and not just during school holidays. It's exciting. Plug it in as your little bit of self-development, your little treat to yourself to learn from all the incredible guests that we have on the show at Rise Up Show. I'm going to be putting a shout out this week as well. Once we've done the challenge for more guests for the show at Rise Up Show, I am looking for particularly people of colour, members of the LGBTQ community, anybody from any marginalised groups to come along and share the platform as we talk about the stuff that really matters. So please do, if you know of anybody who would be great on the show, hook them up. Tell them to come on and give us a shout. I will be actively seeking out incredible humans to come and share more of their incredible stuff as we show up, wise up, and rise up together. And one of the ways that we are doing that this week is becoming more visible. So as you know, the IATQB movement is about personal development and business development, because there is no business without a life around it. And obviously, in order to fund and fuel your life, often we need business or employment to make that happen. So when the two overlap, magic occurs. And that's what the IATQB community and the Hive is all about. So if anybody doesn't know, if you've been living under a rock in my community, but your girl's a public speaking coach, that's what I do. I help people articulate their business and their mission message so they can reach more people and make more money, right? want to make more money. No one's in business to make less money. And so one of the really great ways that you can do that is by speaking about what it is that you do, sharing out of your gob into the ears of your ideal people what it is that you do and how you help them. So this week, what I do, and I do this twice a year in my community, the IATQB Hive stands for I Am the Queen Bee, IATQB Hive. I do teachings, trainings, set tasks over the course of 3 days with a big celebration on day 4, where we explore how we can become more visible, because glossophobia is the number one fear in the Western world. Can you believe it? Like the fear of public speaking, the fear of talking in front of people about what it is that you do, or the positioning of yourself as alpha, if you're going to talk about it in psychological terms. So what I like to do is a couple of times a year, just before we open the door to all of the programs, I want to help as many people as possible. So we open up the challenge to everybody. It's completely free to take part, and some banging prizes at the end as well. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, so at 10:30, so after the show, every day this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I will be setting you some tasks and doing some trainings. And then at 8 p.m. on Friday, not only will I do an extended workshop, but also, I can't wait for this. For anybody not taking part in the challenge, you really want to come along to this at 8 o'clock on Friday. I'm holding a premiere, an online premiere. If we could go to a cinema and do it, I'd take you all to a cinema and do it, but I can't, so we'll have to do it on Facebook instead. I am doing the world premiere of the new IATQB promo. So I've been working with David Nibbins from Spirit Films over the past few weeks as part of Be Inspired, using footage from events gone by to create this incredible promo. I saw it last week, the first rough cut, and I was like, oh, it made me cry. It's amazing. So I'm going to have a premiere for you all to celebrate that as we move into this, which is our next phase of IATQB, this, which is the next up level. It was really, I think Wallace just shouted. Wait, Wallace? He made a funny noise, and I don't know what did you hear that? He made a funny noise. Wallace, are you okay, hon? Are you okay? We all heard you make a right funny noise then. We're making sure you're all right. I don't know what he did. I think he sneezed, but it was a really strange sneeze. He's okay, fret not. So yes, I can't even remember what I was saying about the promo. This next level of IATQB. So we really have put our flag in the floor for where we are as a movement on Be Inspired. We really set the bar, I think, for a lot of the online space with regards to what we're delivering for people. And that is my intention, is to bring you quality. You know, we all start somewhere, and those of you that did the challenge right when we first did this for the first time back in 2019, maybe 2019, we first did the challenge. I was done on a live in the living room of my old house really early in the morning, so the kids didn't wake up, and it was delivered to you in that way. And it was my intention every single time to raise the quality of what I'm able to deliver to you, so much so that it starts to set the bar for everybody around us, because we do deserve incredible quality training. We do deserve incredible quality coaching. And that is what we're setting the bar for all the way around. So when we start to share these things, I know that the quality of everything around us is going to start getting better, because they're going to start looking at us and going, hey, look at the Queen Bees, they're doing something. I'm like, yes, we are. Come along, join the party, raise the bar. Let us all get better together, because we all do well when we all do well, right? So this week, the challenge, it is important to get amongst it, not just to get more visible in your business, but also it's an incredible networking opportunity. Speaking of networking, me and this wonderful human who is on our show this morning, not only is she's a friend of the show, she's a friend of mine. we met each other through online networking, moved that out into real life. We met up at Will Manifest when Will Manifest happened, the incredible Ladies Life Lounge, the fabulous Jodie and Roxy, who put on the Ladies Life Lounge, put on Will Manifest last year. And I got to see this phenomenal human being speak, not only speak, absolutely smash it out of the park. I'm in awe of the incredible things that she does and her journey. Her book is phenomenal. She's a good soul to have in your corner and in your life anyway. So I am more than grateful and blessed this morning to bring a little bit of that fire to you in the form of the glorious Lizi Jackson-Barrett. Good morning.
Can I pay you to just introduce me every time I walk into a room or something? Because that was really good. I like that. Thanks, Dani.
I'm good at bringing people on stage. I've kind of positioned myself as a bit of a host. I don't know if you've noticed, but the amount of guests now or people that I bring on stage go, Dani, do you know what? If we could just pay you, just come around when we walk into a room.
Yeah, right.
When we walk on stage, when we walk into the supermarket, maybe if you could just announce us in, that would be great.
Yeah, if you don't mind, that would be great. Yeah, I'll take a recording if you can't be there in person. That's fine.
Babes, I can't think of a better job. What a wicked job. Can you imagine if I just got paid to do that all the time? It's like the guy on the X Factor. Lizi Jackson-Barrett, like this, walking in.
Amazing. Well, if the speaker coaching and everything else goes tits up, then you can start a new career announcing people.
That's it. Just an announcing person, just somebody you need to travel around with you, announcing you into rooms and what have you. Lizi, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Very happy to be here. I've been looking forward to it.
I have. I'm so sorry. You meant to be on last Thursday. Thursday just gone. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't. I was in the middle of an intensive and I couldn't. And you graciously took the curveball and said, "Hey, I've got some time next week, Dani." I'm like, "Go."
Not a problem. Life happens. It's not a problem at all.
Tell us a little bit more about what it is that you do. You've been on the show before, but we have a lot of new people in the audience now who may not have come across you before. So tell us, Lizi, a little bit about you and what you do.
And I think it's probably also fair to say that what I do has evolved since the last time I was on the show. So last time I was on the show, I think I was probably describing myself as a body confidence coach.
Right.
I hadn't that long ago, I think, written my book, which is called How to Feel Beautiful. So it's very much focused on body confidence. And body confidence is still very much what I'm about, but it has shifted. So now I'm a confidence expert. And the reason I call myself an expert rather than just a coach is because coaching is kind of one part of what I do. But under that umbrella of helping share and spread confidence is the book and the speaking and everything else that I do to help inspire confidence. And I especially now am focusing on helping female business owners to build the confidence they need to really thrive in their business, because as you know as well as I do, there is so much confidence involved in running a business successfully, and that includes body confidence, which is really overlooked sometimes. But standing up at a networking meeting and just letting everyone look at you while you talk terrifies some women. The confidence to communicate what you do, which is clearly all about what you do, Dani. The confidence to know your worth and charge it. There are so many different elements of confidence that come into thriving in your business. So that's what I'm about these days.
Amazing. And here's the thing, now more so than ever, I think it would be safe to say, and please let me know if you're watching at home, if this resonates with you, that because of the lockdown situation, there are a lot of us right now that are peeping out on the other end of lockdown with a couple of dragons to slay. We talk about slaying dragons all the time on the show and as part of what it is that I do in my work. But these dragons are sometimes, like you say, very specifically around things like body confidence. So, for example, if you've had a relatively sedentary 13, 14 months, it may mean that you are carrying more weight than potentially you would have done prior to. Now, I know some people have taken to the lockdown situation and, stayed really active and, really minded what I think for the majority of us, lots of us turned more to drink. Lots of us turned more to food. Lots of us turned more to Netflix than the alternative. that's left some people feeling not great about themselves. Now, be very careful out here before you think I'm fat shaming. I'm not. I'm sat here as a fat person owning myself, but understanding that actually I've put on more weight than I would have liked to have done through the lockdown period. How do we help ourselves on the other side of that?
Well, I mean, I think it's part of that bigger picture of the work that I've been kind of trying to do for a few years now, which is separating the two things out. So not making our worth attached to our size and our shape.
Right.
So it's all right to say, you know, I've gained weight and actually I'd like to lose it again because I'd be healthier. And, you know, I'm one of those people who says that. I have, you know, I was fat before lockdown. I'm fatter than I was now. And I would like to lose some of what I've lost because I would be healthier. But it's kind of letting go of that connection that the shape you are and the number on the scale somehow determines what you're worth and your value and what you've got to bring to the world, because they're two completely different things. You can be this amazing human who shows up and you know, brings fabulous things to the people around you, whether that's in your work, in your personal life, in your family. And that's, you know, your weight is irrelevant in that. You can. So I think that's kind of the work that we need to do, is making those things separate, that we don't have to say, you know, it's not a bad thing to say, I want to lose weight, if that's what somebody wants to work on.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make you more or less of a person or of any value.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing. I think that I think the worry here in this particular conversation is people are coming through the other side of lockdown and they're passing up opportunities because they don't look how they think they should look or how they did look. This is the same for anyone who's had a baby as well, often, that we start to hide off of the back of going through these things, and our bodies, our faces, our hair not looking the way that we would envisage it would have looked. Like when I come across people now who I knew at school wouldn't have known me as a fat person. That's not what I was, not who I was, because fat isn't who I am. I just am fat. It's a whole shift that almost needs to take place in building the foundations of that real confidence up again, to allow yourself to go back into the world and feel valid, right?
Mm-hmm. I think a really good starting point is to think about, who do we really admire kind of in our sphere, in the business world? Who do we aspire to? And maybe even just write down, what are the things that I really admire about this person? And I would bet a lot of money on the fact that the way they look is probably not in your top 5.
Right.
So actually, if you're, Dani, you're one of the people I really admire and aspire to be like. And yes, you're completely blooming beautiful, but actually that's not in the top 5 of the things that I admire about you and would like to be able to sort of aspire to be like. So I think that's a really good exercise to think, if that's what I see in other people, if the way they look is so unimportant to me, then why do I assume that the way I look is important to other people? Because actually it's not. They're seeing all those other things about me that I see in others.
Right. Absolutely. So coming out of this, and if you're talking, you know, you're using the language like lockdown lord on yourself, or you're really beating yourself up for how you've coped, for whatever it is that you've done to get by, because this situation, I mean, and you specifically, Lizzie, I will talk about that this morning. This situation has left nobody unscathed. Everybody has been scathed in some way, shape or form by the last 14, 15 months now. I mean, you specifically had to completely isolate, you and your husband and your kids, didn't you, for the first 7 or 8 months?
Yeah, I think it was about 6 months of solid isolating. So I've got a condition called a primary immune deficiency, which means it's an antibody deficiency. I don't make antibodies, like, full stop. So I for over 20 years now, I have like a blood infusion of other people's antibodies to sort of keep me alive. And I do that once a week. So of course I was in the extremely vulnerable category. And we actually pulled the kids out of school a week before all the schools shut down last year because I was so scared.
Yeah, I remember you having that conversation. Do I do it? Do I not do it? I think it's the right thing to do. And everyone was like, pull them the fuck out.
Exactly. And no one really knew that it was only going to be a week later that everyone kind of came out of school. And My husband took 3 months off work. He works for the NHS delivering equipment into people's homes. So he was seeing vulnerable people a lot, ill people a lot. And I thought, actually, I was crying every day in fear. So I thought, actually, we can't live like this. So my husband took 3 months off work. The kids were at home, and we stayed at home together. And like, you never know how that's going to go. Luckily, it turns out my husband and I quite like each other. So that was a good part of it.
Thank God.
I know.
So, because that could have gone tits up, you know. You're suddenly like spending a lot of time with your family, and you realise that, oh God,
yeah,
I quite like them when they're not here.
Completely. Yeah. So yeah, we did that for 6 months. And then I managed to catch it anyway. So that left me feeling a bit like, oh God, what did I do that for? Yeah.
So
you
managed to catch it. That must have been really scary, Lizzie. And I don't kind of want to dig around too much here, but it's worthwhile us exploring this just a little bit, because I think that some of this has taught you some things on the other side as well. So when you got COVID, did you feel the symptoms in the first instance, or did you get a test and then the symptoms started to happen for you? How did that go? Because it was weeks, like trying to get a clear test after that, wasn't it?
I had symptoms, but I thought I had flu, because at the time the government was being really I can't remember what they said now, were the very specific symptoms. It was about a bad cough, a lack of taste and smell, and a high temperature. And I didn't have any of those. I felt like I had flu, you know, proper flu, when everything aches and you've got no energy and you just, everything hurts. And so it wasn't any of those 3 symptoms. So I was convinced it was flu. And then kind of went on for a few days, and I thought, I should probably get a test here, and off I went. And that moment where you get the text come through that says your coronavirus test is positive, I was like, I could feel my heart like suddenly pounding in my chest, like this,
because that's what you'd avoided for the past 6 months, in total isolation. Like you've been avoiding this particular thing.
Yeah, and it had really felt to me like I'd spent those 6 months. I kind of described it as sort of hiding in my house from this faceless monster that was outside. You know, it felt big and scary, and suddenly this monster wasn't outside, it was inside, it was in my body. And but yeah, it was really, really scary. Then I was very ill for about 8 weeks, like very ill. It was horrendous, and in the end I was admitted to the COVID ward at the Royal London. I spent a week in there, but I was given remdesivir, which was the drug that everyone was kind of talking about at that time. And luckily, within 2 days of my remdesivir, I was testing negative. It was like this magic potion. So I stayed in to have the full week course, because it's done kind of intravenously, and then sort of came home, and then took another couple of months to sort of get over all those symptoms that's, do you know, I know there's loads of symptoms that go with kind of long COVID and things like that. The main one for me was brain fog. Like it was like a little taste of what dementia might feel like. I think it was horrendous. Like I couldn't think of the word table, and you know, things, it was, words just left me. So I'm really glad to have my words back, because that wasn't fun.
I'm glad you've got your words, because we're going to do a little thing together with words, are we not?
Just a little thing. I'm so excited, Dani.
Do you want to tell everybody what we're going to do together for the next 6 months?
Yes, I do. Okay, so part of my plan has always been to kind of build up my speaking work more, and to make it a real integral part of my business, my income stream, and just use speaking platforms as a way of just reaching more people, spreading my message more. And I've kind of been trying to do it by myself, by sort of getting some advice from people who are sort of talking a bit and speaking a bit. And last weekend, or weekend before last now, I was sitting at home trying to make a speaker sheet. I was Googling what it might look like. And I suddenly had this moment where I thought, actually, hang on a minute. When I wanted to be a coach, I invested a lot of time and money in learning how to be a coach. When I wanted to write a book, I invested time and money in a mentor who would get me through it. No one's ever taught me a thing about speaking. Why am I not, if this is so important to me, investing in this? And there really, I mean, I'm not just saying this because you're sitting there. There really was only one person that I want to learn this stuff from, and that's you. So as you know, I dropped you a message and said, now, Dani, here's what I'm thinking. What are your thoughts? And I think within a few hours, I'd signed up for Be Heard and Be Inspired. And yay, I'm going to be there on your stage with you in September. And I'm just so excited about this decision I've made. It's going to change everything, I think.
I think, well, the thing is, I'm excited too. And the reason I'm excited, Lizzie, is that as a coach and a mentor, particularly in this space, you always get like kind of dream clients, people who you really kind of want to work with. Not because you don't think they're good at what they do, it's because you know they're good at what they do, and that there is a whole next level of incredible that they can reach. And you're already a TEDx speaker. You're already somebody who speaks on stages. You are already somebody who has speaking as a skill that is God-given, that is something that you've honed anyway yourself. And just like you get pro athletes have coaches. You know, I'm blessed enough to work with Marilyn Okoro. She's an Olympian. She's a runner. For her body and her conditioning, she has a coach. Even when she's at the peak of her game, even when she's preparing for a big race, she has somebody that's kind of by her side, helping her tighten up all the nuts and the bolts so she can give the performance of her life every time she goes out. And that's what this particular situation feels like for me. It's like you're a pro athlete already, really super skilled in your trade, and you need somebody in the corner who just needs to tighten up the nuts and bolts to help you give the performance of your life every single time you go out, and have all of that ready. So when I think about working, with Lizi Jackson-Barrett, she's like in my stable of incredible speakers, I'm like, oh God, yes.
Yay.
Because it's going to be, and it's going to be a ride for the people that watch you as well, because the things that you have to say are massively important, like just the things that we've touched upon this morning, the whole confidence thing, trying to get people to understand that confidence doesn't just land in you. You can't just sit there and go, okay, confidence.
Yeah, right. And there are so many people out there who are saying, you just need to have faith in yourself. You just need to believe in yourself. I'm like, no, there's no just about it. You can't say that without backing it up with the how. This is how you get there. And there really is like a formula. There's a way of doing it. There's a way of building confidence. And there's a lot of people don't realize that. They think you've either got it or you haven't.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been interesting so whenever I start to work with anybody, have a dig around, makes it sound like a stalker, I start to read up and educate myself on their work and the things that they do. And that's something that I'd already had the privilege of being able to do just by being in your world and being your friend, having read your book and stuff. So already I know what those messages are, and then, what they could be. And Claire's saying something that's really interesting here. There's so much vague bullshit advice out there. And one of the things that you're phenomenal at is giving clear guidance and giving clear paths to unlocking these things. One
of the things I've done over the last few months is I've actually developed my own system for developing confidence, and I knew it was kind of in there in my head somewhere, and I knew I was doing it with clients anyway, but suddenly it all came to me where I realized, hang on a minute, this is what I'm doing. This is this process I'm following with clients without me even realizing I was doing it. Right. So actually, Claire's completely right. It is just so vague, this whole get more confident thing. And actually I've realized there is this, there's a proper system to it. And once you've kind of got that clear, it makes it a lot easier to see how it is achievable.
And like we were saying, right, just before you came into the show, and we were talking about speaking and we were talking about the challenge this week and what have you, that life and business are very, very inextricably intertwined. With lots of big words. They're very tangled up in each other, right? So people are waiting for the confidence to create the business, the confidence to become more visible, the confidence to buy the dress that they want, all of these things. And now your business is like the mix of the two of them, getting the confidence to do the things in business that you want to do so that you can do things like charge your worth. Is that something that you struggle with in the past with regards to not just Because we could always talk about the obvious, and we could always talk about, the hair loss for you and how that's affected you. But when it comes to just the thing that everybody deals with, charging your worth, allowing yourself to be an expert in your field, what's the work that you do around that? How do we start to unpick and peel back the layers of the onion with that?
Well, are you ready for a truth bomb, Dani? Because I've got a truth bomb for you this morning.
Bring it!
There is this massive light bulb moment I had a few months ago, which is that although I am a confidence expert, confidence coach, I'm all about confidence, what I've realized is there's no such thing as confidence. So what I mean by that is what we perceive as confidence is actually someone operating within their comfort zone. So, for example, on a stage speaking, and you saw me standing there, you go, wow, she's confident. Actually, no, what you're seeing is me in my comfort zone. If you saw me walking into a gym and being asked to get on and do a workout, you wouldn't. I guarantee you would not look at me and go,
get
she's
a different
confident.
Lizi.
And it's because I'd be out of my comfort zone. So I truly, truly believe that actually the secret to unlocking all of this is to grow our comfort zones, is to think about, what is it I want to feel more confident in? Where is my current comfort zone around that? So if it was speaking, my comfort zone might be, for example, going on a Facebook Live, but not standing on a stage. So then you'd look at, well, what sits just outside my comfort zone that I would really like to be able to do because it would benefit me in some way, but I'm not confident enough to do it. And then that's when the magic starts to happen, is you expand that comfort zone to include the things that that you want to be doing. Because we've got this received wisdom at the moment that comfort zones are bad places. You need to be out your comfort zone. Nothing good happens in comfort zones. And I call BS on that. I think we operate I do, absolutely. Comfort zones are the place to be. I think we operate at our best when we're in our comfort zones. When we're in our comfort zone, we feel empowered and in control and confident. When we're out of our comfort zone, we feel full of imposter syndrome and fearful of judgment. So that's two comparisons of the ways that you can feel. Which one is going to be conducive to you performing at your best? Right. So it's in your comfort zone where you perform at your best. So the secret isn't to spend your life being outside of it, being terrified. It's to
all the time, like this.
It's there, exactly, constantly.
Holding on to the roller coaster the entire time. We're going to do our best work there.
Yeah, so this is my kind of big story that I'm talking about a lot at the moment, is that actually we need to let go of the idea that we need to be out of our comfort zones all the time. We need to recognize there's no such thing as a confident person. There are people who have different comfort zones that look different to different people. And when you're admiring someone who's confident, what you're actually seeing is someone who's operating within their comfort zone. Right. So that's my truth bomb for you this morning.
Drop the mic, Lizi Jackson-Barrett.
It's a good one, right?
It is a really good one, because when I talk about confidence, and we do talk about confidence as part of the Be Her program, we talk about introversion versus extroversion and the misconception that people who are extroverts equal confident people, when actually sometimes that's actually really far from the truth. The extroverts, they just get their energy from being around people. That's different. Some of the most confident people I know are actually introverts whose quiet knowledge and acceptance of themselves is the platform on which they stand, and that's unshakable. That's confidence. And again, like you say, that is them being comfortable. They're comfortable because they acknowledge and accept themselves in that particular space, in that particular time. And that's the aim, isn't it? We look at this confidence like a magic Easter egg, like a lottery win, when actually, like you say, if you figure out where your comfort zones are, it could be like a balloon. Like,
yeah.
Claire's asking a really interesting question. How do you look at it when someone has a toxic or self-destructive comfort zone?
That's a really tough one, Claire, and I think it's hard for me to answer that without knowing more about kind of those specific details. But I think that, and one thing I'm always really, really conscious of is that I'm a qualified coach and not a qualified counsellor, and I'm always really I stay really mindful of the fact that the work I do sometimes digs up some really difficult stuff. And so I'm always really careful to not overstep kind of what I'm qualified to talk about and help people to do, and kind of have these Exactly, it really is, because the worst thing would be to do more harm than good.
Right.
So I have incredible kind of therapists and counsellors that I can refer people to. So I think, to be honest, Claire, if I was working with somebody and it really looked like there was kind of some really kind of toxic stuff for them, I could help them to explore that to a certain level about maybe where it's come from, and where they want to go, how they want things to change, and what steps they could take to make that change. But actually, if it needed to be unpicked more, it would be honestly beyond my remit. I think that sometimes doing that work around comfort zones can help us just get a little bit of clarity on what those toxic, self-destructive kind of feelings might be. And that can really help to sort of just make them a bit more concrete and see them for what they are. So I'm just seeing what goes, but lots of my survivors struggle outside of their scratchy blanket, as I call it. Yeah, I mean, without knowing kind of the details of it, Claire, it's probably quite hard for me to say any more than that. But yeah, I think definitely accessing the right support from the right people is probably key in that sort of situation, I think.
Yeah, and this forward-facing work that a lot of us coaches and mentors do is about forward-facing. So if I always talk about being able to speak from the scar and not the wound, because a lot of the work that I do within speaking is about connective stuff. Connective stuff is directly connected to you and your story in order to, you know, forge relationships with audiences, in order to then be trusted to share your value in a really cool, you know, oh, this person's an expert. They give a shit about me. They give a shit because they've told me something about themselves. They've expressed a vulnerability. But there has to be a piece of work done right at the beginning where we establish together, is this the scar and not the wound? Because we can go forward if it's the scar and not the wound. If this is still a painful place for you, then actually that is something that a medical healthcare professional needs to be involved with, or somebody who is more qualified in that particular therapeutic field than it is for, say, somebody like us who's working in the confidence space, or working in the motivational space, or even indeed working in sort of the teaching and education space. So yeah, absolutely. And it's incredible and beautiful and brilliant to hear you say those things, Lizzie, because sometimes you get people in the online coaching world who try and wade in, you know, for the sake of getting the money, will try and wade in that space, and that does far more harm than it does good for everybody involved. So yeah, note to those out there that are in this particular service, you know, service space, that have a raft, like Lizzie's just said, of professionals who you can signpost people to. And I know, Claire, your work forms a lot, centers a lot around domestic abuse survivors and what have you. So I know you'll have loads of people that you can signpost to. So Lizzie, tell us about what the next bit is going to look like for you. Because I know we get to work together and we're going to do Be Inspired together and what have you. And we're peeping on the other side of lockdown. You have survived like an absolute warrior, COVID itself, coming through the other side of this pandemic. What does the next bit look like for you as you're building your business and obviously creating speaking as a revenue stream, etc.? What's the next bit for your business look like?
Well, so I have just a few weeks ago launched my first ever group program, which is something I've wanted to do for 4 years since I started my business. I used to be a secondary school teacher, so I love the group dynamic where I'm facilitating a group of people and getting the best out of them. And for one reason or another, it hasn't happened till now, but I've just started the beta version of a program I'm calling the Confidence Accelerator program, and it's for a small group of women to work through all of those different areas of confidence to help them thrive in their business. So we're very much mindful all the way through that this is helping their personal confidence to grow in order for their business to thrive. So at the end, they should be seeing some really tangible business results. And we've had the first 2 of 7 sessions, and already I'm seeing these amazing changes and shifts in the way that these women are showing up and talking about themselves, and it's amazing. So this is obviously, I'd say, the beta. In September, I'm going to be running it again, having kind of taken on board everything that I have learned from doing the beta program. I'm keeping it really small at the moment. I've got 7 women on it. I was aiming for 6 to 8, so I'm right where I wanted it to be. And I want it to be small so I can throw loads of my own personal support and kind of cheerleading for them. So for me, as well as that going hand in hand with obviously wanting to build the speaker profile and the speaker work as well, it's really building those group programs and keeping on facilitating these incredible women in business who just need that self-belief and that comfort zone growing in all of those areas they need. So that's I'm doing at the moment, and I'm just loving it. I feel like this is kind of where I've been heading for, since I started my business.
Yeah, it is that progression, isn't it? From the application of these things to yourself, then it's the conscious application of it. Oh, right, so this works. Let's try this again. Like, it's like we test it on ourselves, then we do it again, and then we do it again. Then we think, oh shit, this works. Good. Okay, so now it's the sharing of that and attracting the right people to you, and then it's formulating those incredible products and services like you have done. Now, do you do any of that work in one-to-one, or is that just in group that you do?
Yeah, no, one-to-one is also completely available, and one-to-one is so in the program it's kind of, there's a very clear structure to the 6 different areas of confidence that I've identified that I think we need to work on, and we work through them together. One-to-one is clearly very much about that individual client's sort of needs, the gaps in her confidence and comfort zones, the kind of where we see that we need to be working in order for her to really be kind of flying and moving forwards the way she wants to. So yeah, one-to-one as well, absolutely.
Amazing. Lizi, how do we hang out with you a little bit more? Because you're listening right now, you need Lizi Jackson-Barrett in your lives, like all of you need her in your life.
Well, I would love you to come and join my Facebook group, which is called the Courageous Women's Alliance. So you can find, I know, right?
We're headed to battle with that one. I love it.
Yeah, right. I'm loving it. So yeah, come and find us there. And you can find me on all the socials at Lizi Jackson-Barrett. So I will be there waiting to come and say hello to you as well.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. And if you want to catch Lizi speaking on stage, then you can get yourselves, or when they go on sale, they're not on sale just yet, get yourself a ticket to the next Be Inspired. She's going to be live on the stage, and that's only the next one. Like, I'm sure there'll be things that come up before then that people get involved with, but she's going to be live on the Be Inspired stage on September the 30th, which I'm so excited about.
Yes,
Lizi, are you going to come and say hey in the challenge and come and check
living right
out?
I am. I've had it marked out in my diary for this week.
I love it.
I'm really excited. I've got my eyes on the prizes, Dani. I'm telling you now. I am a competitive woman.
We have got some pretty epic prizes. So Lizi's after the Sparring Strategy Day with me. We're just going to get a hold ourselves up and just like plan the shizzle out of everything. Just plan some world domination thing.
Why not?
Lizi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's a joy to speak to you. Please do us a favour, Lizi, would you pop your contact details and everything in the comments thread so people can come and follow you and do all of the things, get in your world, because they need you in their world. Lizi, I love you. I'll see you in a bit.
Well, thanks, Dani. Bye.
Lizi Jackson-Barrett, everybody, please do go and follow her. Go and check her out. Her work is honestly game-changing and just game-changing and life-changing. When you unlock that bit of yourself, the world suddenly opens itself up to you. You suddenly stop waiting and start doing, and that is a phenomenal experience. So just under 15 minutes time, we are going to be kicking off the Be Heard, So You Want to Be a Speaker Free Challenge over in the IATQB Hive. Please do go get yourself over there right now. Be ready. I'm going to be StreamYarding in there. Going to be sharing the first of our trainings today, the first of our tasks today. The prizes are phenomenal. You can win a sparring strategy day with me, a sparring strategy retreat even with me. We've got Harvey Nichols hampers up for grabs. We've got some IATQB swag up for grabs as well, all for taking part. There is no catch whatsoever. And as well, 8 p.m. on Friday on the Queen Bee Dani page on Facebook. I want you all there as I premiere the new IATQB video promo. Get yourselves over to the IATQB Hive, or go get yourself a brew. Go and get yourself a notebook and a pen because you'll need it. Go and grab yourself a wheat, and I'll see you over in the Hive in about 15 minutes' time for the very first session of Be Heard. So you want to be a speaker, day one. I'll see you in a little bit. Take care.